Hey guys, happy Sunday. It's actually super late for me to start this video. It's 7 o'clock. My daughter's outside playing with her friends right now, so I thought I'd take a minute and get some one-on-one time with you guys, tell you a story. My day today, by the way, was pretty uneventful. It was pouring rain here. I have two young kids that are stuck in the house, got a little grumpy. I'm definitely tired. While I'm here with the kids, I still have a business to run, so all these things happening, I'm just trying to balance both, which is why I'm doing this at 7 o'clock and not earlier, because kids always come first. Now, what story do I have for you guys? A pretty good one. A few of you know the story. I've told it in segments along the years, but not all in one place at one time, which I'll do for you right now. How did I become part of Daily Driven Exotics, and how did I meet Damon? Now, DDE started long before me, but 2013, I came in late 2016, 2017. So there's many years of Damon working really hard to develop this brand long before I was even here. I think there was 55,000 subscribers. They didn't start like, Dave, you're in, let's do this. It started off slowly, and I'll explain that. So let's go back to way before that, summerish, late summer 2001. That's when I first met Damon at a parking lot. He was there with his Integra. It was at this shop called Pro Car Audio, and they'd have little meets in the parking lot. Damon showed up. Really Damon today times 10. He's like 22 years old. I was 18. He had a white RS Integra with AEM everything. I know that because he popped the hood. Someone's like, is that an AEM fuel pressure regulator? And Damon, in typical Damon form, was like, I have AEM everything. And I was like, wow, what a dick. So along that time, I had a 1991 Integra RS, so it was the DA chassis. Damon had the DC chassis. And Damon was making carbon fiber parts in his mom's garage. Always entrepreneurial, always something on the go. He built carbon fiber parts. And I know this because we had a website called Revsing. Now, this is before Facebook, before Instagram. It was forums, chat forums where you lived and you died. Spent hours on there getting in arguments. I started a lot of arguments. I lost a lot of arguments. I actually got punched in the face once because of an argument on the internet. That's a whole other story. So anyway, Damon and his buddy had this little business, and I found out about it, and I messaged him on Revsing, and I was like, hey, I want to get some carbon fiber canards, because they're making them, dive planes, canards, whatever you call them. So they made them for my car. So I drove to Port Alberni, met Damon. I think it was like $80, super cheap, installed them. They were super cool. And I started hanging out, and I'd go to Port Alberni all the time. In fact, I would finish my shift at Pizza Hut where I was working at the time, grab some pizzas, head to Port Alberni, go hang out with Damon. I would travel there every evening, bring pizza, we'd all hang out, we'd make things out of carbon fiber. Chris would come, we were all buddies. At that time, I think Damon had lost his license for a little while, so we weren't really driving around, but then we got his license back, had the Integra on the road. It was a Frankenstein build, so it had a CRV B20 block with a B18C GSR head, I believe it was, and he turboed it, and it was super fast, and we'd get into trouble that way, and Damon was always pulling me a brake on the highway and just doing crazy. He was crazy, way crazier then than he is now. Now he's older and has kids, and you know, he's paid the price of losing his license. So anyway, so about a year or two later, I moved up, I moved up to general manager at Pizza Hut, got a girlfriend, moved in with her. Damon moved to Port Alberni, had a second daughter, Tyla, and we drifted apart. No incident, it just, life moved on, we got busy, and then we just stopped talking for a little while, and then that little while became a decade. And don't forget, this is pre-social media. The only way to maintain a relationship was to call somebody. You could text, but even that was a pain in the ass back then because there was no iPhone. It was like ABC. It was a pain in the ass. So long story short, it was a lot harder to maintain a relationship back then than it is now. And now you can have 1,000 friends, whereas back then you really only had a few because you had to like literally hold on to their attention. And then it was about, you've probably heard this part of the story, 2015, I was a district manager for Starbucks. I had 13 stores. One of those stores was in Duncan, where Damon and his wife were living. Presley was, I think, this is 6-7 years ago, so she would have been 2. I was doing my thing. Actually, ironically, this is my briefcase. Actually, I have no idea why this is here. This is my briefcase I carried at Pizza Hut, or at Starbucks. I had a collared shirt, and I'd walk around with this, my laptop, and I was corporate. People were scared of me, which is interesting because I'm actually a really unprofessional and smart ass, but I played the role really well. So I walked into my store, and I saw in the parking lot there was a black 458, And at this time, I didn't even know what it was. I knew what a Ferrari was, but I didn't know the model numbers because I never really thought I would ever be in the position to own one. So I didn't waste a lot of energy learning about them. I didn't have big enough goals and dreams, as I've learned, which Damon's helped me understand what's possible. So I walked in and I saw Damon sitting there with his Ferrari jacket on and his MacBook or his laptop, and I was just like, I walked up and was like, "What's up, dude?" And he's like, "Hey, Dave, how you been?" And I'm like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "I do online marketing." I'm like, "Online what?" I had no idea. I had no idea that was a thing. I did the traditional corporate job. I was making good money. I wasn't broke, but I wasn't making anything towards what was possible, that I knew was possible. So we started chatting, and then we hung out a few times and kind of rekindled our friendship. And then I had a lot of questions about online marketing, so I wanted to learn about all that stuff he was doing. Obviously, I want to make more money. We all do. So he showed me a few things, and then it wasn't until 2016 he offered me a spot to go on Snowball Rally as a volunteer, which I did, which was really fun. You guys know that story. I won't get into that one. And then I actually worked for his marketing company. So I left Pizza Hut. I'm getting confused. I left Starbucks, and I worked for his online marketing company, which I really enjoyed. It was really hard. The learning curve was steep. And it's one of those things where it's like, you can't just be shown one time. There's so much to learn, to finesse, and you have to get really curious. So I enjoyed that about it. And then around that time, DDE really started to take off and started to really grow. And Damon offered me opportunity to come on the DDE side and stop doing that, just do DDE. And that would have been mid 2017. So I did it. At first, my job was brand deals, so I would go out and talk to companies. Some of the first ones were Rockform, which is actually on this phone right now. Cove, Bluetooth speakers. What else was there? There's a bunch of ones like that in the very beginning, which we still work with today, which is awesome. It's really cool to have that relationship with companies. We know the owners, we know the employees. It's really neat to have that synergy. And then in the beginning, I wasn't even on camera talent, if you will. I was basically just there to run the kind of the back end for brand deals, and then it kind of morphed until slowly but surely I became on camera, started making my own vlogs, started traveling with Damon, and here we are today, 5 years later, and it's like, it is where it is now, which is crazy. So huge thank you to Damon for the opportunity. Opportunity is one thing. I'll say this to you guys right now. So many people get an opportunity that don't seize it, because an opportunity is just like your foot in the door. Then you got to prove yourself. And I can tell you, I worked so hard. My first year and a half, I didn't take a paycheck. Nothing. I worked my face off between managing the Starbucks I worked for, because I still worked at Starbucks in the beginning. I didn't leave until 2017, late 2017. So I did both. So I would do Starbucks during the day, and at night I'd work on the business. I would do little trips on the weekends with Damon. I would take some vacation time to go and do the rallies, and I did both. So if you're watching this and you think, I want to do something big, understand what it really takes. And it's one thing to say grinding and sacrifice, but the truth is, it's a lot of work. Even today, like I'm doing this right now, talking to you guys. I filmed a brand deal earlier while my kids are here, so I'm managing their needs, making sure they're taken care of while doing the business. Like if you want those things, and I'm not a motivational speaker, it sounds like I'm going there. All I'm saying is, if you want those things, prepare that. Sacrifice actually means sacrifice. You might not see your friends as much. You might not be able to spend as much time with your loved ones. But if you really want something, that's what it's going to take. And I watch so many people get these opportunities and not take them. When Damon gave me that chance, I've never believed in anything more. And this is the truth. Why I left my safe career. And so many people in my life, almost said literally there, so many people close to my life said this is a bad idea. It's not going to work. Like, you're making YouTube videos. Like, you got a corporate job at Starbucks. This is a good thing. And in my gut, I knew Damon was always a person that made things happen. I knew that about him. And I saw other YouTubers, I was like, well, they're doing it, we can totally do it. And it seemed like a lot of fun. So that was the kind of the story of how I met Damon and where we are today, which is super cool. So yeah, if you have an opportunity out there, you guys, take it. Look for the opportunities and then prove your worth. Don't ask for anything, just do the work. It'll always work out in the end if you just do the work. And this is just the beginning. We have lots of things planned. Super, super excited for the border open. As soon as we get back down to LA, watch out, because it's going to be crazy. And a lot of things we're doing now, building all the cars, getting things in place so that when that border opens, it's going to be legendary. Literally. Ah.
Good morning, you guys. Another day, another coffee. Oh, let's see if we can get that pressure right in the middle. Ooh, just a little high, but not bad. These guys are always just cruising the neighborhood. What's up, Mr. Deer? Too funny. Just getting back from a walk. Took the doggy out, Presley. Little on the chilly side today, you know? Officially, winter's over, but it's still cold and feels like it's gonna snow. Presley, how was your walk?
Good.
Good. Were you tired? You look tired. You look cold. Hey, kiddo. All right, guys, it's lunchtime in the Fryer home. We're doing soft tacos, beef. Presley, you enjoying yours? Yummy?
I got veggie.
A veggie one?
She got beans.
Bean and cheese.
Beans and veggie.
That's Presley's favorite, bean and cheese. I got beef. Biffy.
La bouffe.
La bouffe. I think that's French, isn't it?
Oui.
We don't speak French, by the way. Oh, someone's beat after our walk. Look at this guy. What? Are you tired? You tired, buddy? He's so big. You tired? He's snoring. Hey, who's that? Is that the vloggy? Say hi. Oh, good boy. What are you giving him? Does he like watermelon? That's funny, Presley.
He's not used to the texture because he always eats like raw meat.
Well, he's used to blueberries.
Oh my gosh. You're too funny.
He just
We
tried
doing a
one
workout
piece.
or what?
Yeah.
We taking pre-workout?
Yes.
Yes. All right, the dog peed on the pool cover, so we're on mission clean up mess, right?
That's cool.
Been playing with it, making a pattern in the air. How easily we are entertained as children, right? Well, you guys, I got a little smidgen of a teaser of an update on the F12 for you. We're gonna do a big update in the next week or so, but I'm gonna give you a little teaser because Aaron has been diligently working at wrapping this project up. He's just about done the whole build, put the whole car back together after all the parts have been sent off to powder. So I'm gonna give you that update in just a little bit. I gotta make sure that she doesn't get out of hand in the meantime. And my in-laws are still here visiting, so I'll sneak out into the garage and give you that update in just a little bit. Okay, turn that off before you get me and everybody else wet. Wifey really hooked me up. I was gonna show you guys this if you haven't seen it. She got me a hose that matches my car. All right, so I said I'd give you guys an update. I was speaking to Aaron Kaufman earlier. The F12 is coming along quite nicely. So I know it's been a year. I know everyone's excited. I'm super excited, but I truly believe good things are worth waiting for. And while Aaron is one man, he also had other things going on. So this is a really big project. It was all custom fab work. And I really wish we could have documented this better, but just due to the circumstances over the last year with COVID, 2020 was a really tough year for everybody. And as you know, I have not left Canada since. So I've been home, reinvented Daily Driven Exotics basically from here. And anyhow, Aaron sent me some updates. There's a little video I can show you guys now. He sent me a whole bunch of videos. I'm really excited because we're gonna have our first major update right from Aaron going onto our main channel within about a week time, I think about a week or so. So stay tuned for that. Maybe the first few days into April, we'll have something. And it will not be on April 1st. It's not an April Fool's joke by any means. Aaron's made major headway. He's obviously got the intercooler cores all welded together. He's got the merge tank, the end tanks. He's got all the piping done going up to the turbos on the cold side. He's worked on the hot side to finish things off. And he had a whole bunch of pie cuts. I had an image of that somewhere. I think maybe I could throw it in here for 2 seconds. And those pie cuts are going to be what is going to be a very, very short tailpipe section off the hot side, exiting up through the hood, which is where the fire will shoot out right from the windshield. I'm fired up about this. This is a crazy, crazy project. I have no idea when this car is done, what's going to happen when we turn it on. The car still needs to be tuned. As far as I understand, as long as we start the car and don't rev the hell out of it or try to drive it hard, obviously everything should be okay. it's only gonna run a few pounds of boost. When I say a few pounds, I don't know if that means 4 or 6 or 8. It'll definitely be sub 10 because there's a couple of issues. Creating a lot of heat and running on pump gas isn't the best thing when you start taking, first of all, high compression engine. If we want to prevent detonation and issues, we'd probably want to run a much cooler kind of exotic fuel like an E85 or, you know, a race fuel of some type. I don't know. I don't think even a meth kit might help. I don't know. We don't know yet. This is uncharted territories for everybody involved. And I don't really honestly know a whole lot about building cars. Like I've always said, I've tried to be really honest. I'm a driver. I like driving cars. I want the, you know, the mechanical side of these things to be somebody else's problem. I just want to get behind the wheel, have a lot of power. My challenge has always been driving these cars sideways and being goofy, but in a controlled manner. So that's what I practice. That's what I work on and try to get better every day on. Keeping these things mechanically sound is not my forte. It's not how my brain works. So crazy update from Aaron that all the cool side's done. The hot side's this close to being done. He's just finishing a few things. He welded up so the blow-off valves are on, as you can see, I think, if you look closely, in between the merge tanks coming up the pipe into the manifold. You can look closely and see that the blow-off valves are there. Then there are the wastegates that have been welded up. So really he's just welding together the tailpipe section with these little pie cut pieces that he uses. I mean, it's just a work of art. Now at the end of everything being built, Aaron has a certain level of obviously presentation that he wants to show the world when this car is done. And that requires things to go off to powder coating and all sorts of stuff to be finished. So it looks, you know, Mamma Mia, Italiano, muscle car, fire-breathing dragon. That's the best I got for that. So yeah, that's it. Super pumped. In the next couple of weeks, we will have an update video on the main channel with a whole bunch of content from Aaron. And I'll show you this little teaser clip that you'll get to see here at the end of my portion of stories today. I hope you guys are fired up about this. I know some people are like, it's been a year. That's not a long time for one dude to build a car around everything else he's got going on. It's not like Aaron Kaufman's some dude who's bored sitting in a garage and has nothing to do. There's a reason why he's so good at what he does. He's in high demand. He has his own shop. He has other projects. He has his own stuff, passion projects he likes to do. So I didn't pay him or have a deal with him where he would take this car and just work on this nonstop. That was never the deal. This was like kind of a favor of a favor where he even took this on because of actually my buddy Dean Carney. So huge shout out to Dean for the connection to Aaron. I think the wait is going to be worth every single moment. And a year really isn't that long. Like, look how fast it went by. Boom, boom, saloon, Bob's your uncle, we're here. And I'm hoping in 30 days time, I will be able to go to the United States and go for the first startup and the tuning process, which will go from Texas and Aaron's shop over to a shop in California. I'm not going to tell you who that is yet, but I think you guys are going to be pretty excited when you find out. I also think I need to transport this down there. So I have this car just as my for sure car to drive, and the F12 gets done, fingers crossed, all tuned and good to go. I will have car number 2 to drive while I'm down there. So that's kind of the big update on the F12, as well as, I guess this is the first time I'm really telling you guys like a timeline, a realistic timeline as to when Dave and I could be going back to the United States. We've always been able to. You just had to ship a car and fly down. You just couldn't drive over the border. This whole last year, you've always been able to fly down and you could always transport a car down. The only reason why we haven't is, again, just to reiterate this, 2-week quarantine is mandatory when we come back to Canada, which means that when we come back, for 2 weeks, I can't make videos. For 2 weeks, I can't hang out with my family. So that's a big commitment. Like 14 days. I don't know what I would do for 14 days sitting in a house alone. I'd lose my freaking mind, which is why I haven't done it. But there's a point in time where, like, you know, the juice is worth the squeeze. And if my F12's done and I can get this down to some sunny weather, and I think things are starting to open up a little bit more in California and in Texas, I think it would be worth to go down and just finally bite the bullet, and I'll suffer the 14-day quarantine when I get home. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stories. I always enjoy doing this. It's very authentic and honest and just no editing, me walking around. I pace when I talk. I don't know why, my brain works. I walk around. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.
So with the intercooler placement down here, obviously I wanted a lot of frontal surface area, and there's very few places to mount it anywhere else in the car. So in the middle of all the supply chain problems through 2020 and COVID, we were able to find cores that not only fit the holes, but it also gave me enough room for a merge tank in the center, my outer tanks, and everything else. So I had to have several things in mind. How much horsepower we were gonna make, how much heat we had to give away. It's like, and how this was all gonna work, how much space I had for the merge, how much space I had for the end tanks, plus the elbows on the end of it, how we're gonna get to it, how it's gonna be mounted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so there's a lot of things that went into kind of picking out the cores, building the tanks on it, location in the car to make it all, make it all kind of happen. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna yank the bumper off and we can talk about some of the changes and get to see just a little bit more of what's going on.